Greetings! Welcome to the Week 6 Early Access Update for Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. We're going to start off with our sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So where to start off today? So we're going to start off today with just a quick modification that's been done to the handguns. It's pretty simple, but has been requested a bunch of times, which is if the slide is locked back and we insert in a new mag, you no longer have to hit the slide release button on the controller. You can now just grab the slide and rack it forward. So past that, let's get on to the main toys for the week. Basically, I've spent a ton of time this week on my two-hand weapon system. I know last week I was talking about how much I didn't like how it was working with the M4. I've gotten it behaving a little bit better, in part because I've rewritten the system to better accommodate shotguns, especially of the pump variety that we're seeing here. The alt-hand usage works for the shotguns always in a pointing. It's not toggleable, as it's really necessary for the reloading operation, which I'll show you in a moment. The foregrip is also a grip toggle, not a grip hold. So I've pressed the trigger once to grab the foregrip, and I hit the grip button to release it. That way, it's much easier to move the shotgun around. And one of the other reasons is that the trigger is actually used for actually racking it forward and back. So let's see. So let's grab ourselves some ammo here. We're going to go over the pump first, and then the semi-auto. So the way the pump, the sort of shorty pump that we have here works is that we can put 1 in the chamber and 5 in the tube. And so the suggested order of loading is to rack this back and then release the main hand from it with the grip button. So we're sort of holding it in front of us with the alt hand. Then grab, insert 1 into the chamber, grab the handle again, pull down the trigger on the alt hand, rack that forward, turn the shotgun upside down, and then load 5 more into the tube. We should be ready to go. Awesome. Now, one thing to be aware of with the pump is that after we have racked it once, the hammer's been cocked back, which means we can't continue to rack it if it is actually whether or not it's empty. So I actually have to click the trigger to decock the hammer. Do this again. This is I don't know whether this is the case on the real life version of this shotgun, but from what I was reading, most of them have that sort of hammer locking. I might add a toggle button to be held down to sort of override it, but for now, if you try to rack the shotgun and it won't go, it's because the hammer's cocked and you have to click it to decock it. So yeah. Hold this up again. A hoot. Next up, we have the semi-auto shotgun, which has a retractable stock. The stock doesn't function in terms of the aiming at all. It's just a personal preference on whether you'd like it in or out visually. And this, in many ways, functions much closer to a rifle, in that we're not sort of racking a foregrip, but we have a bolt, which we can pull back, insert 1 into the chamber, and you can either grab the handle and click left on the touchpad to release the bolt, like so, or you can load 1 into the chamber and then just grab the bolt, pull it back, and let it snap forward. This one takes 1 in the chamber and then takes 7 in the tube. Delightful. In terms of the M4, it has been switched to use this type of foregrip aiming by default. I've made it behave a lot better than last week by cleaning up the filtering. I'm still not super duper in love with it, but it does seem to respond a little bit better. It's always going to be a little floaty just because of the way that these physical objects are targeted to where your hands are instead of parented. But you can now with the M4, you can release the main hand, and so if you wish to load with your alt hand, you can totally do so. Oh, come on, Anton. I'm totally not used to doing it with that hand. There we go. Wonderful. So over in the modular range, you'll notice that I've added 4 new sequences. They're all geared towards the shotgun, and just be warned, they're incredibly difficult. You're definitely going to want to practice loading as rapidly as possible. I've given you a fairly decent amount of time to load in between waves, but you're still going to have to do it fast. In addition, especially the agility shotgun one, this sequence is a little bit different. Basically, it starts out with a wave that causes you to use all the ammo that you have in the shotgun. It then gives you basically no reload time, basically enough time just to load one shell, and then proceeds to hit you with 4 waves in a row with exactly one target. And the purpose for this is for you to practice this type of loading action, where you've emptied the shotgun, you're back here, you just load a single one into the chamber, pull it forward, and fire. So, if you want to do well at this sequence, you should practice the cycle of actions that you see me doing here. So that you can see what that looks like with the semi. It's a little bit different. So the bolt's locked back. Go like that. Fire. Reload, grab the bolt. Fire. Load, grab the bolt. So, and the sequences that you see here are going to be mixing up your sort of standard, I'm trying to load 6 or 7 during the reload period, and the single loads like this, just to make them hard and make it so that you guys don't exactly hit near peak score within a day of me posting these. So these are all designed to really be a challenge. We've got an intro one, which is fairly simple, the agility one that I mentioned. We have a storm one, which is all moving targets, and then we have an endurance one, which is absolutely brutal. Just to note, the last 3 waves of this, you're going to be reloading during the actual wave. So I look forward to seeing how you guys end up doing with the scores with that. And then lastly, I thought I'd give you a peek at something that I didn't quite finish yet, or get fully operational for this update, but it'll be in the following one, is the next sort of like fun lawn game / throwing game I've been playing with, which is called 301 Lawn Darts. And basic idea is that you have these nice oversized javelin-like lawn darts you end up throwing, in many ways more like a football, and you're going to be playing just sort of standard 301, possibly cricket. I need to see if the other sorts of scoring methods work. Obviously, what's a huge difference here compared to playing regular darts is that certain numbers are much closer to us than others, although I think precision is about equally difficult, near or far. Let's just go ahead and throw one of these. Oh. Landed short. Let's try again. That might be over far. Wonderful. Come on, bull. Outer bull, not bad. So yeah, so this is not, as I said, this is not in this week's update, but I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of it so far, and hopefully I should have it fully functional for next week. I'm probably going to put in a hot seat multiplayer mode where you'll either throw a single round of darts or possibly several, just because, you know, switching the equipment between 2 people is a bit of a pain, as well as just some leaderboards for single player for the various game modes I end up getting into it. So hopefully you enjoy. So we're going to end this week's devlog with me doing one of the modular range sequences. I got asked by a few folks if I could show off a little more of just how the gameplay is looking. I know some of you haven't gotten your vibes yet and might want to see it. So I'm just going to go ahead and play a whole sequence here for you to finish things off and see if I cannot embarrass myself too much trying to do so. tend to like to pop these up here too. Let's do this. I find for the shotgun ranges especially, you want to keep track in your head of how many shots are in the tube. 1, 2, 3. Three, 4, 5. Are we full? Yep, we're full. Whew. Beautiful. Should have waited. Oh, goodness. I think that's all of them. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh shoot, there's more targets, I forgot. 4, 5, clipped a red one. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, trying to double load into the chamber. What's wrong with us here? Awesome. While we're at it, let's go ahead and do one with the pump. 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, because the pump is only holding 5+1, most of these are simply going to be more difficult with it. It's just, I don't know, for arcade speed shooting, a pump shotgun is just not what a semi-auto is. But still worth trying, especially if it gets too easy for you with the semi. 1 and 2. 2, 3. Oh, terrible. Now begins the Anton is embarrassing himself phase. There's one more wave. 4 and 5. Go! Go! Oh, this is terrible. Oh. Reprehensible. So yeah, so give it a shot. I look forward to seeing what sort of scores you all manage to achieve. See you all next week.